Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello and welcome. Who did this? Did someone like laugh or cough or something? Okay. Only hearing that. Hello everyone and welcome to Footy JUDGEMO, people. It is going to be a fun stream, I can tell. It's the end of the day for a lot of people. Been awake for like 12 hours now, me. So yes. What is going on for everybody? 24K. I want to thank everyone that supported the channel, showed up on the channel. Thank you everyone on the road to 25K. Hopefully soon. Thank you guys for supporting, always liking the videos, like sharing it. So it's your making here. Hit that like button if you joined us. We'll talk about Marexca telling Cole Palmer or saying that Cole Palmer is marked all the time and complaining like we said before. We'll talk about that as well. We'll talk about Sterling. Is he the answer to Arsenal's left side? Sterling, and also can Arsenal get a result against Manchester City? But first, can Inter get a result against Manchester City and give Arsenal hope? Arsenal that are going to the Etihad on Sunday, of course, but Inter are going to the Etihad first on Wednesday. I actually heard Inter fans think that we're gonna win 2-1, but we'll leave that. For some reason, they think that. Of course, Chiesa, will he gonna get his debut tomorrow against Milan in San Siro? We'll see about that. A lot of people are asking why didn't he get involved in the last game? What is happening? We'll talk about that as well. So hit that like button if you joined us now. If you are watching this on the replay, hit that like button, people. And let me know in the chat, where are you tuning in from, please? If you're watching this stream, let me know where are you tuning in from. There is an echo coming from somebody. I don't know from who. Someone is playing YouTube or something. But Let me know, guys, where are you tuning in from? And how's everyone? And also, before we do, we welcome back Rack, who has not been on the channel for a while now. So he's back on that channel here, of course, Redline Taranga, Washington, D.C. Big up, Rack, for joining. What should we start with the Cole Palmer thing?
Why not?
Sure.
I actually think so.
Why not? Why not?
Cole Palmer thing. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Believe it or
Definitely.
not. Oh, well, Alex. Well, long time no see, Alex. Long time no see, Alex. Big up, Alex. Cole Palmer. Marexca saying he's marked. He's complaining that he's marked. He's complaining that he's marked somehow. He's like, we need to find solutions. So because he's complaining that the oppositions are marking him for some reason, which is okay. Well, that's what you expect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what you
He's the best
expect.
player. Of course you would. He's the best player. Oh, hello.
I guess I haven't seen the quotes, haven't seen what he said. I guess it's more of an observation rather than the complaint. I'm going to give Marexca and I'm going to give Cole Palmer the credit. I don't think they, when you become a big boy, when you're as highly rated, young player of the year, and all that kind of stuff, you are going to get. Or even if you're coming off your first, your breakthrough season, and a great season it was. People are going to be looking at you that little bit more closely. You're not going to have the same space. People are going to understand you're the danger man. So I know Mo. We all know Mo is legally trained, and he likes to use his words in a particular way. But I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say he's not so much complaining. It's more of an observation, and maybe
that's what he said. He said we must find solutions for Cole Palmer's increased attention from opposition. That's what he said.
It's very simple for me. Don't play him in the middle. Play him out on the right.
And then drop
play him out on the right. I don't like. Everyone talks about Marexca's touchline wingers. I don't think it works. I just don't think it works. And we saw it against Bournemouth. Cole Palmer was supposed to play in the 10, but he was on the right all game. There was no one in the middle to pass to. That's why we kept passing backwards and sideways, because there was no one in the middle to pass to.
But the majority of Chelsea people, Andrew, they say that Cole Palmer prefers to play through the middle.
I don't think he does. I think he prefers to play on the right because he can drift in. He can drift in. Like his best performances last year were off the right.
Yeah. He's still going to get man marked
actually, that is completely the other way. He said his best performances were in the middle.
No, I thought his best performances were when he was on the right. Or he's allowed to just drift and do what he wants, essentially. That's where you probably get the best of him. But I think apart from the game against Wolves, because it was so wide open, I think all of his performances, maybe a bit against Palace, I don't think they've been up to what they were last season. Whether he's being man marked or not, it's a case you're going to have to deal with it. Do you know what I mean? It's up to Marexca to who else do we put there with Palmer that takes the attention of the player. How do we use so much attention on Cole Palmer that it frees up spaces for others?
See,
that's what has to happen.
Cole Palmer last season was obviously the superstar of this Chelsea team.
Yeah.
Now, this season, you're going to go Jadon Sancho, who looks like, for me, your best left winger, probably. Neto went off at half-time. I'm not quite sure why, but he never really got into the game. Jadon Sancho looks suited to play that position. Nkunku has to be your main striker. Okay. He's just far better than Jackson in front of goal. And then buying João Felix. Felix is the weird one because he's going to play more in that 10 role centrally. So Cole Palmer's going to have to play on the right. But the problem is, Cole Palmer, I agree with you, because when Cole Palmer plays on the right, he can ghost into central positions and pick unmarked positions up. But when he's playing if he's playing through the middle, he's going to get tightly marked. João Felix is going to prefer playing in that central area behind the striker. So that means Cole Palmer will have to be an out-and-out winger and stay wide, because if he's coming in, he's going to get in Felix's way. So it's a bit of a conundrum what you do with him right now.
Yeah, I agree. But, I'd rather have that headache, rather have a coach have that headache than what happened last season when you had to pick from an option of Mudryk or Sterling on that left-hand side. Do you know what I mean? So I'd rather it that way. Listen, Cole Palmer's this is probably the most important. This is probably even a more important season than last season. Last season was establishing himself, and he's done it brilliantly. This is now every year the attention's now on you. It's like, I'm not obviously saying they're like the same, but it's just like with Saka, right? Saka exploded onto the scene, and he gets all the attention. That's why he gets fouled a lot. He gets double teamed. He gets triple teamed sometimes. But you're gonna have to if you want to be recognised as a big time player, you got to work your way around it. And also, he's going to get fouled more. We saw it on Saturday. He's going to get fouled more because people know what a danger he is. So it's just going to have to, him and Marexca going to have to come up with something. You know?
But that's what we spoke about last season, isn't it? Like, oh, you're now the attention guy. You're being marked.
Yeah.
And now you have to find solutions because other people are marked all the time. Ahmad Salah gets marked, Saka gets marked.
Exactly.
So that is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So that is the thing. Like, that is the thing. Like, for me, I don't know what's the solution for Chelsea. The problem is you don't have the defensive midfielders to do all that dirty work. And if you play him at the 10, he gets roughed off the ball. You play him on the right side, you don't have creativity through the middle unless you play two strikers and you create from the right side.
Well, that's I agree with you. There's issues to be had, but that's for him and Marexca to come up with a plan. Do you know what I mean? That's for them to. That's why they're paid the big bucks. You know what I mean? It's their job.
Well, they can't just put him out wide, right? Because you've got Sancho now, and you've got.
I play him off the right, but doesn't mean he sticks to the touchline or anything like that. He just drifts in like he usually does, like he did last season. He just drifts in, do that. Or someone then go out on the right when he drifts in. That might have to happen as well. But I just think he's just such a talented player. You're just going to have to find a way to build this team around him because he is the main man. Do you think we didn't really build around? I'm not saying they're the same type of player, the same level. We never built our team around Eden Hazard. We never gave him the support that he deserved. Do you know what I mean? So we need to start doing it with talented players. Jadon Sancho will help on the left. Neto could play the right, and then Palmer moves. I don't know. It's just options that Marexca is going to have to sort out. That's probably one of his biggest things is actually finding a combination that clicks all the time. Okay.
That's what I was going to say. With Palmer, I would have thought Chelsea would have built their attack around Cole Palmer, if that makes sense, and find the right players to go with Cole Palmer in that attack. Because where you've gone and now bought, it's like you bought too many players and gave yourself an issue you didn't need. If that makes sense. And
yeah, I mean, the João Felix one to me is going to be no.
Yeah, because he's going to want to play the. João Felix is going to want to play.
I don't know if you guys. Did you watch? Did anybody else other than Andrew watch the game, the Chelsea game?
I'll be honest, no.
It was a good game.
My God, João Felix! Oh my God!
I did the watch for it.
Bro, this guy is the definition of I am here for the cameras. I'm just here for the cameras.
We didn't even talk about it. Do you remember that Colwell pass he mucked up in the second half? When McCullough hit it over to him and he couldn't trap the ball. He tried to, it just went the other side.
He's a very strange player because you can tell that he's talented. I think his decision making is horrific. To be honest, it's absolutely horrific. To be honest,
I mean, he seems.
I was trying to watch the game, but I think it sent me to sleep. I woke up in the second half, and it was I saw Sancho's pass to Nkunku, and Nkunku basically made the goal by himself.
I thought it was a good game, Bournemouth Chelsea. To be fair,
actually, Bournemouth peppered Chelsea's attack. Yeah, it was too early for you.
It was too stop-start because of the ref. That was the only problem.
Yeah, the ref was
but yeah, I think, like I said, Bournemouth are Iriola. Is it Iriola or Ariola?
Ariola, yeah. It doesn't matter.
I think he's taken to the Premier League quite well. I mean, they've lost their. I know they brought Ivan Nilsson in, but they lost their main man Solanke in the summer, and I think they're doing well. But going back to the Palmer thing, it's just an evolution. It has to be an evolution now. You know what I mean?
Why every time I'm watching Chelsea, I have. And I don't know, I want an answer to this from the people's perspective, especially people I want to see that the rivals fans. I have this feeling that when I'm watching Chelsea, that they might not be a main player in the league this season. I'm going to give you an example. even though Aston Villa last season didn't challenge for the title, right? But they were a main player in the league. Like, took points of this, took points of that. You know what I mean? Like everyone that is going, yes, everyone that is going to Villa or playing Villa are worried about them. You get my point? I'm not sure why I watched Chelsea in some games and I feel like, yes, apart from that particular half they played against Wolves, I think Chelsea are gonna be, yes, they might get top 4, which is I think they're gonna get top 4, but I don't think they're gonna be a main player this season. There won't be a lot to talk about at Chelsea. It's gonna be we lose a game, we win a game. We lose a game, we win a game. I have this feeling.
I think we'll creep into the top 4. No one notices.
Yeah, Mo's right.
I think you're gonna get top 4 because
I think they finish top 4 as well.
Yeah, because I think Aston Villa are gonna be occupied with the 8 games in the Champions League. They're gonna try to make as much money as they can by winning games. Newcastle are winning games, but I still yet to see Newcastle strengthen. I'm waiting for them in January. I think Chelsea have the talent to actually make top 4 without a shadow of a doubt in my mind.
I don't think we're guaranteed, but we'll be in the fight, whatever the
conversation. Like, I don't think Man United will be in the conversation.
No.
Like, I don't think Spurs.
They can't score enough goals, Man United, and they made their attack worse this season. Do you know what I mean? Overall, I just don't see them doing anything. I think like they'll finish where they finished.
You get my point where people think about Chelsea. I'm like, when you talk to some Chelsea fans,
what we are. We don't know what we are.
Yes. Like they say, oh, Chelsea's this, Chelsea. I'm like, I'm not sure. I still think that they are trying to figure out the system, who's going to start, who's not. Until this moment, people say, oh, Vega. Some people say even when Reece James is back, they don't know if Reece is going to start or it's going to be Malo Gusto. Who's the best centre back at there apart from Colwell?
So I don't know how any rivals can. Like, I'm not saying anyone here, but when I hear rivals try and tell me what we are, I don't even know what we are. So how do I expect rivals to know what we are?
I think that's going to be hard for you guys to get to the top 4 because of that reason. Like, I think Newcastle know who they are, Villa know who they are. I think they're going to be a couple other teams that have their shit together a little bit better than Chelsea.
Well, that's my mind. I said if we bought a recognised striker in Tony and Osimhen, I think that gives us more of a chance. Whereas now we're like in the race, we're not front runners, but we're just in the race. I think whether you think that's all it is at this moment in time, we're just in the race. And like we've seen it at the weekend, Aston Villa are a good side, but just like the rest of us, they will leak goals. They did it last season. They conceded over 60 goals as well, like same with Spurs and stuff like that. So anything outside the top 3, the defenses are not great overall. Do you know what I mean? They will concede a lot of goals. We will concede a lot of goals this season outside of the top.
Apparently, defending's overrated. I've been told that my team is not actually that good.
Yeah.
Because we defend too much.
Just defending overall, right? It's overrated.
It's overrated.
Arsenal. Arteta is the new Sean Dyche.
yeah.
But with better players. It's the new Sean Dyche, but with better players.
He's not. It's the new Jose Mourinho, right? You love Jose Mourinho football, right?
Simeone.
These are all great teams and great managers. It's a
yeah.
No, I was just on a stream with Deji, and he was saying that we got played off the park, and et cetera, et cetera.
No, Tottenham fan. Can I just say one thing? I don't understand Tottenham fans' arrogance. I've never got it. I've never understood it. They're not a big team. They don't win anything. I don't understand why every Tottenham fan I know, and I've got a brother-in-law who's a Tottenham fan as well, they're all arrogant. Like every single one of them have got arrogance. And I'm like, why are you arrogant? If a Chelsea fan's arrogant, I get it. If an Arsenal fan's arrogant, I get it. If a Man United fan's arrogant, I get it. I don't understand the Tottenham arrogance.
They've learned from Manchester United, Liverpool, and Chelsea fans how to talk to Arsenal fans. They've just taken on the same language as if they've got all those but trophies.
They don't live in our space, though. They're like the next door neighbour. No one.
Yeah, but when I say that, they get upset. When I say Tottenham Hotspur aren't on the same table with Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool, Man City, Man United, they get upset.
Why though? They're not.
Wallahi, they get upset for real. Like they get upset. I'm like, no, we challenge. We went to the Champions League final and we challenge. Why?
Yeah.
How?
You never
like I can't remember. in my
Sentimental.
lifetime, there are ways to call a club a big club.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, it's not only about, yes, we aren't winning trophies here and there, but when you have players that consistently are in the ballon, like top superstars in the world football, even though people say Arsenal aren't winning a lot of stuff, right? But we have to remember that 20 years ago, Arsenal had some of the best players in the world.
Exactly.
Like that. And it's
Like
not
the
only
best
about
football.
Thierry. And people say, oh, Thierry Henry. No, there is Bergkamp. You know what I mean? There was Patrick Vieira. There was Ruben Perez. There was Leon. You get my point. There was Wiltord, who was a World Cup winner, and a Euro
Roberto Silva.
Like, there were players at Arsenal that were David C. Like, that is the point that I always talk about. It's not only about, and also people forget that Arsenal were a main player in Europe, not by winning the competition, right? But they're always until 2013, right? I always say that.
You don't like them because they smashed you 5-1 in San Siro. That's why you don't like them.
We smashed them 3-0 at Hybrid.
Yeah, but they
Have
smashed
some
you
shame.
5-1. They smashed you 5-1,
But we scored the goal, they didn't.
I know.
All right. Now listen, my point about this is the Spurs fans get upset, and I'm like, number one, Arsenal have double digits league titles. Spurs have 2 league titles. The fact that you have 2 league titles is actually, like, I don't know, bro. Torino in Italy have more league titles. Genoa have more league titles in Italy, right? Than this. And I don't get it.
It was more relevant than Spurs' 2, isn't it?
It's either you become it's either you have a lot of league titles, right?
Yeah,
a lot of, or you do Chelsea, 2 Champions Leagues, 2 Europa Leagues. You know what I mean? You get to a Club World Cup. You win the Club World Cup. You do this, you know, internationally. Yes. Yeah. Well, Spurs have neither. Like, Spurs have neither.
I never get the sense of it. They're the only team that has a sense of entitlement, but I don't know where it comes from.
I think you know what, I view them similar to Everton in the sense that I think Arsenal are probably a bigger club, but you know, Everton have historically had some championship and trophy winning success. But Spurs, in terms of like properly winning, I think it was the 60s. When was Jimmy Greaves? About 60s or 70s. I think it was late 60s, Jimmy Greaves. And then he went to Milan after that, right? Yeah. So it's been a while. They have obviously challenged for things along the way, different times. And they have had exceptional players, like even back in the day, you know, you Gazas, your Teddy Sheringham's and that kind of stuff. But they always kind of struggle to put together a truly world-class squad. And then even like, whenever they had really good players, they often got cherry-picked away by, you know, even your Robbie Keane. Berbatov, yeah. Sheringham went to United. He left.
Luka Modric left.
Sheringham left United. Sheringham left Spurs to win trophies. That was what he said. And then he went. Then he went back after he'd won his trophies at Man United.
Yeah, won a treble and went back and just retired.
It's late Wenger's fault because he let them feel like they were coming up. They were always comparing themselves to Arsenal, and Arsenal falling off, and now Tottenham are ahead, and they're in Champions League finals, and they're regularly getting top 4. But they thought that they were just going to
ask you a question. This probably sounds like a silly question. I'll ask you anyway. Do you even feel like now the derby's a bit watered down now? Do you think there's because you know the way their stadium is as well? It's not like they're not on top of you or anything. Do you know what I mean?
I'm not a North Londoner, so I don't really get to experience the day-to-day, and I know that it pisses everyone off. Like, everyone an Arsenal fan loves beating Tottenham and vice versa. But for me, it's mostly the talking before the game that the Tottenham fans get into that gives me the motivation.
6 players in the joint 11.
Yeah. They're all in our team. They're all in the combined 11s. They're all up in our face. They're saying they're going to ruin our title challenge. They're going to be the party poopers, and then they just disappear, and you don't hear them again for a while.
But I actually think now reality expressions, Deji, Jacob, I don't think they actually believe. I think they say that because they have to back their team. It's like, let me give you an example. If I say on the shows and I say I'm gonna go to the Etihad and smash Manchester City, do I actually believe that?
Yes, you do.
I
Mo.
don't.
Yes, you do.
I don't.
Domination in the location.
You're looking
Like
for your wins.
I don't. That is why I think I actually thought that Spurs are favorites. Yes, but the to win the game on paper, I thought Spurs are favorites, and I still believe that Spurs should have been favorites, especially without Declan Rice and Odegaard. But again, Spurs played the game. It was a 50-50. By the way, if this game ended 0-0, it would have been a fair result.
Sure. Yeah.
Nothing special. You know what I mean? Spurs weren't Spurs because they had ball position. They think they were on top. No, they weren't.
Yeah,
Not at all. I didn't think that Arsenal were that troubled at all with Spurs' position. It's expected.
I don't know about you, Mo, or anyone else. I thought that was the biggest insult to Spurs that Arteta literally. I thought he just went there and went, looked to their attack and went. You can sit. You can. We can play this game for 100 days, and you're not going to score. And we'll sit back. We'll try and get something on the counter or maybe a set piece. But you ain't never breaking. You're not, apart from the first couple. I think they had a couple of chances the first time, but wasn't really doing much. But I think that was the biggest insult. Arteta just went there and went, "You're not doing anything to us. You literally cannot do anything to us."
He went there with 4. He went there with a 4-4-2, and he's like looking at it like, Son's literally got no pace anymore, and they play him left wing. So when he had the pace, they played him up front and took him off the wing. Now he's not got the pace; they put him back on the wing. Makes the Spurs. Right, and they got
said, "I'm going to select
terrible."
He's going to select 7 forwards and 1 midfielder and 2 centre backs, and everyone else is they're just going to play it in our half, and it'll just work itself out because they've got numbers. But you can't. It's like he has blind faith, and it's gone to the Tottenham fans because they won those 10 games in a row and something like that in the last season. They've got this faith that they're playing this kind of Barcelona 2005 football, and no one can keep up with them, and their press is intense and all that kind of stuff. But our 4-4-2, I mean, we've honed this thing over 3 seasons now. It's a back 6 when we need it to be. We can conform to any attacking shape and just keep them out. And look, we gave them their best chance, and they took 3 seconds to have a shot. That pass from Ben White.
Second half, it was almost as if you were going, yeah, just cross it in. It's fine. We're fine with you crossing it in because you've only got Solanke in there.
I was worried we had Jorginho and Partey there because that's like the slowest midfield that anyone's ever seen in the Premier League. But they wouldn't even...
I wanna. Okay, so good segue. Forget Spurs. I think they're irrelevant anyway.
Thank you.
I will say,
I'm being serious.
I'm not.
Wallahi guys, it is not banter. When there is a guy that is called Mahmoud who used to come here as an Arsenal fan, and he contacted me about 1.5 years ago. We started a show in Arabic, and he told me we want to make a big 6 in Arabic, and I was like, we contacted those staffy. We tried to get some Arabic people that can speak Arabic. I told him we cannot make big 6. He's like, no, why? I was like, it has to be big 5. I swear to God, it is called the big 5. And I tried to explain to him that you are catering to the Arab world. We have zilch. I have one friend who's a Spurs fan. The reason why is that because his sister, he's Egyptian, lived here in America, big up Kamel, because he loved Spurs. That's why I have tons of Spurs jerseys, because he bought the jerseys from London for our team because he loved Spurs so much. His sister lived in London, and he used to buy the jerseys for Spurs. You get my point? He's the only Arab person in my life that I know that supports Spurs. In my life. I know tons of Arsenal. If you go to Saudi Arabia, Egypt, anyone, you will find probably a handful of people that support Spurs. Why would they support Spurs? There is Egyptian guy that went to Spurs called HUSAM Ghali, and he had a fight with Martinelli, and he left. Right? No one supports Spurs in the Arab world.
They call themselves the Yids. It's not gonna attract a lot of Arab players. You had Mohamed Solomon was
there's a big
my point is I don't know. I actually think expressions is keeping Spurs relevant. Seriously. If it wasn't for extractions
in South Korea.
Maybe Topes on Big Six, keeping them.
South Korea is keeping them relevant as well, I think.
Deji, yes, but like I don't see a lot like I don't see a lot of people like Spurs fans, and with all due respect,
you know what it is over here? It's not like whenever I ask someone why they support Spurs, the story is, oh well, my dad supported them. That's it. There's nothing anything else about supporting West. It's just
a lot of the new generation that support Arsenal. Why would they support Arsenal? What is the reason why would you support Arsenal? If you are not 30 years older or more, why would you support Arsenal? The last thing that you saw Arsenal do relevant is 2006 Champions League final. That is 19 years ago. So unless you're 27 years old or more, why would you support Arsenal? Unless you're from North London.
Well, not if you're in London. If you're London,
okay. Same. If you're Manchester City,
it's a hereditary thing.
Why would anyone support Manchester City that is older unless they are from Manchester? Why would anyone support Crystal Palace unless they are from South London? Now Manchester City have a wide. Chelsea, for example, why would you support Chelsea unless you're Italian and you like Vialli and Ravanelli and Zola and supported them in the late 90s? But before that, there were reasons to support Liverpool in the 80s.
A lot of the national stuff, which is the reason why people support clubs. Like I had Irish mates in Australia that supported Manchester United because they had an Irish player like 20 years ago.
There's big
Will support Spurs because of Clint Dempsey.
That's why we called them all glorious.
I supported Leeds for a little while because they had Harry Kewell and Mark Viduka, and this is big for the Australian people because you get like one player in the Premier League.
And what a team! That was a great team, though. That was also a great team.
No, stop the train, Mo. You know what I'm about to do. Let's reverse. Did you say you used to support Leeds?
I morally supported them. I didn't buy a jersey. I watched the games.
Hang on. Flip-flop. They're shit.
I had a Leeds
against a good team.
You had a soft spot for them.
He's exposed. You're exposed.
That's a different story.
Australians, we don't really have a lot to get excited about. And like, even this big Angel Spurs thing is kind of hard for me because I did like the guy before he went to Tottenham. So I've had to get rid of that, unfortunately. Now I'm enjoying his downfall.
But I like these conversations actually. Why did people become why did Rack, you're from London. Why did you become and Jamie's from London. Why did you become a Liverpool fan?
So generally speaking, I don't really know. But when I was growing up, but that's my dad's not a football fan. My younger brother's not a football fan. So when I grew up, I knew two clubs in the area of London that I grew up in Kennington, where Jadon Sancho's from actually. I knew Liverpool and I knew Queen's Park Rangers. I don't know why I knew. I have no idea why I knew Queen's Park Rangers, but I knew these two teams when I was growing up. I was about 5 years old or something. I don't know why I chose Liverpool. I'm sure probably has something to do with it was the fact that they were winning. Maybe they were on TV more, even back then in the 80s or whatever. But and red was my favorite color, so maybe that had something to do with it. Again, sounds like a stupid reason, but when you don't have anybody to guide you, like if you have a dad who's a football fan, it's natural to follow your dad's team, right? Or if you've got lots of mates who are following a team, it kind of makes it. For me, I don't know, but it probably started differently for me. But I've followed them ever since I was 5-6 years old, and I've never stopped. And I've never changed clubs either. So just.
I think the school ground also has a factor. Like every kid has a team, especially in Australia. Anyway, sorry, go Jeremy.
For me, it was easy. So. My dad was actually born in Liverpool, came down to London, down to London. Obviously met my mum, had one night of passion, had me, great thing ever. And then...
Just only one night?
That's all it took. That's all it took.
One shot, one goal.
One shot, one goal. That's it.
So efficient.
Your dad's like Erling Haaland.
You and Liverpool have something in common.
Conversion rates off the boards. Unbelievable.
So Jamie's dad and Liverpool have something in common. One time in 32 years. What are you telling me?
That's it. That's it. But no, and then I didn't really get into football till I was about 7 years old, and I was sitting there with my dad when we was watching the Liverpool Arsenal game of 1989, the final day of the season, and he was sitting in front of the armchair with his roll up and his beer, right, and he's just sitting there. And because we lost, I didn't really understand why he got so angry. But guys, do you remember them massive, thick, old ashtrays you used to get in the pubs in the 80s and the 90s? Right, he had one of them, and he just threw it at the telly, and it absolutely exploded. And I sat there and went, well, if that's made my dad so angry, he must love that team so much. I just followed my dad, so I've been supporting Liverpool since '89. So yeah.
So what we established
back then either.
I'm the Manchester City fan, and I'm the unreal fan here. Is what we're actually suggesting here.
Define a real fan. That's very tricky, actually, to say I'm the only real fan. But listen,
I'm joking. Not only because you get all the City fans are fake.
Let's go. Let's go to the football since we have Martin here.
We wanted to tell you all about our lives. We were enjoying that.
Are you guys enjoying? We're telling us about who
I think that's one for the international break. We should have done that last week.
Listen, we'll do
it. We'll kind of reminisce about old times.
Born 200 yards away from Main Road. Dad and brother played for Manchester Boys. Whole family was City fans. That's it.
And you hit the jackpot in 2008.
Listen, I deserved it. Have you ever watched him get beat by Wickham?
You deserved it. Why did he say? Why did you deserve it? Why did you deserve it?
No, we got beat by Bury. They don't even bleed and exist anymore. They went out of existence and came back in the beat us. Do you know what I mean? I think I deserve this right now. Thank you.
When you, yeah, I hear that.
Enjoy it well.
There's a straight correlation from Nicky Weaver to Sheikh Mansour.
I've just done a show called Make No Nightmares, the worst ever City 11. Jesus. Have you ever had Daly and Atkinson up front for you? Then we'll have a chat. You know what I
mean? Hey, Martin, isn't Jamie Pollock scored one of the greatest own goals in Man City's history?
He wasn't in the worst. The worst 11 was actually Simon Tracer. Then we had John Foster.
Wow. Yeah.
Alan Kernahan. It was Nigel Clough was in the worst ever City.
Can I ask a genuine question before we go back to the football? And guys, can we get help the show?
This is the real football.
Yeah, this is the real thing, guys. We really need to get to 200 likes. We have over 200 people here, guys. Hit that like button underneath the live chat. In Manchester area, the new generation, are there more Manchester City fans than Manchester United fans?
Always was.
Yeah.
Is that what?
United was generally more down south anyway.
No, but I didn't know the area. I went to Manchester City only one. Honestly, I don't know the area. I'm talking about in the area, in the greater Manchester area. Are there more Manchester City fans younger? I'm not talking about the 25s and the 30 years old. And the
it's far more.
I'm talking about the younger generation.
Yeah.
Are there, like, in 20 years, will we have more Manchester City fans in Manchester area than Manchester United?
I'll be honest with you, I think you always had more. City's always been the more local, hardcore fan base. United was more the global. United had a global fan base 20 years ago. United wasn't about local fan base. I mean, there still is. Don't get me wrong, there's still some proper hardcore United fans in Manchester, but, you know, go back 20 years, it was still flights in from Ireland and Norway and all that. And that's fine. I have no problem with fans from abroad. That's fine. It's just City's done the opposite. We started as a local hardcore group and we're starting to become more global now. But United were more global than they were local. So I don't know.
Yeah, well, they were the poster boys for the Premier League.
I think it's difficult though, because as a percentage, I think it's difficult for a city like Manchester to the percentage wise to change very much, because Martin, your son or your daughter and their son and their daughter and their son and their daughter, they're probably never going to become United fans just because of the history and it's been passed down, like from your family, from your dad, right? So that's pretty entrenched. I think you'll get people from the outskirts and people, you know, from London and people from other big cities will maybe now gravitate more towards City. But within Manchester, I reckon maybe the numbers might, but the numbers will probably increase
It would
overall.
work
I don't
'cause-
have the percentages.
See, the younger generation, you're spot on, Mo. The older generation was different. And I know it was the same. Probably, Jamie, you probably know this for Liverpool and Everton. It was a bit more of a split. It was more like the fan base in the 80s now, who were 80 years old, 70 years old. They watched both teams. It wasn't this split thing. It was City on one night, United on another night. And that's the way they did it. It's only probably 50, 55, 60 or under. They're the ones who are the more tribal, blue or red. That's the way it was. But with youngsters now, it is more City fans. And you've seen City shirts everywhere now. But I know I'm not stupid. It's because we're winning. That's the way it is. It happens with everything.
Why do you think Man United fans have? Why do you think Man United have fans? Man United because the love of the club. No, because everyone wanted to support the winning team in the 90s and the 2000s. They're like, oh, I loved Manchester United. No, you didn't. You opened TV. There was only one team on TV. I was in Saudi Arabia. We only had one program.
Yeah.
You know, I knew Manchester. When I was a kid, I knew Manchester United, the team that always to wear sharp. TV sharp.
Yeah.
That was it.
I know some Chelsea.
Not David Beckham. David Beckham, of course.
Real Madrid. They were like, Chelsea's not popular and not winning enough anymore. They're going to Real Madrid.
Like this notion that people say, and I always fought this notion that bandwagon fans. The word bandwagon fan is that when you support a club and you changed, which is a lot of Man United, some of the Man United fans supported Real Madrid when Ronaldo left. I know some. Right? They did support Real Madrid when Ronaldo left. And there is a lot of Juventus fans that went and supported other teams when Juventus got relegated, not in Italy, outside of Italy. Because remember, in the 90s, for the older people don't understand that Milan reached 3 Champions League finals in a row, and then Juventus reached 3 Champions League finals in a row. So Italian football was so dominant. And even before Milan, for 2 years, there was no Italian teams. And then before that, it was the Frank Rijkaard, the Van Basten team, which was, you're facing them, you're dead. You're done. It's over for you. You know what I mean? So,
but this is how it is. I remember when I was a kid, I used to wake up on a Sunday morning. I was always a late riser. I got into Grand Prix because I used to wake up at like 11, 12 o'clock or whatever. And the Grand Prix was on BBC. I think it was BBC 2 back then. So that's how I got into Formula 1. I got into Formula 1 because I'd wake up. That would be the first sport that I watched. And then I just automatically started following it. Like if you're in another country, you don't really have that relationship, the local rivalry. That's why it's different for me supporting Liverpool than it would be probably for Martin supporting Manchester, because Martin's born and bred, lived in Manchester. He's had United fans in his face ever since he was a kid. Whereas I've never had Everton fans. I only knew 1 or 2 Everton fans growing up. So my rivalry is more with United fans, more with Arsenal fans, and more with Chelsea fans than it was with Chelsea was latter, but more so with them than it is with Everton. So I don't have the same animosity or hatred of Everton.
I think
the problem, you know what the problem is, Martin? A lot of Chelsea fans banter Manchester City fans for becoming Manchester City fans, and then
they forgot. But the
majority of Chelsea fans actually became Chelsea fans after 2004.
Yeah, but Mo, the thing is, and winter surfing is not
crazy. Actually,
I remember Chelsea in the 80s and the 90s when they had 3 stands and we're getting 15,000 fans in the door.
Dog track around it.
Do you know what I mean? But that just comes with an age thing. Honestly, go back. Chelsea with 15, 20,000. That was it. In the door.
He's right. He's right.
No one is having a car park more than they were at the football team.
Yeah, it was Save the Bridge. Save the Bridge.
Yeah, and that's just the way football is. And for me, listen, we haven't.
Well, there are teams that have always been great, like my team. That is different. We've always had Ballon d'Or winner. That is different. We've always been great.
Wednesday night when we slap you around the head.
You had a very 2000. You were very
arrogant now because in 2 days you're getting your ass slapped. So don't get arrogant right now.
Well, you spend a lot of money, and we don't.
Here we go.
But hold on. If we win, oh my God, Martin, you guys will never hear the end of me for days.
If you win, you've done something no team's done in 2 years. I'll give you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I'll give you.
That is why when people tell me, Mo, you gotta go to the Etihad and win. Why didn't you do it?
That's what I mean.
Why didn't you go and do it then?
Everyone else
No, if we can get a draw there last season, you can get a draw there. You know, it's all good.
We'll see how it goes, bro. If we get a draw or win at the Etihad,
Mo,
I think that gives hope to everyone.
I know people now who come with Norway flags just to support Haaland. That's just football.
No,
That's
yes,
football,
yeah.
isn't it? Football, yeah, it's football.
I went to the Spurs stadium and I saw a lot of Koreans coming to support
Yeah.
Son.
Oh, massive.
It was obvious, and it was just that is
Yeah,
how it is. The
I had
only team that I went to and I didn't see anyone supporting anyone other than the team is
And also Spurs are smart.
it's
They bought
the best
Crystal
experience
Palace.
I've had actually.
But Spurs have bought the next up and coming South Korean star as well to come in January.
Yeah,
So keeping that money flowing in.
I'll-
They're not
I'll-
stupid.
I wore my Sydney Sweeney t-shirt when I went to watch our latest film. That's what you do, ain't it? It's what you do.
You know what was funny when
It's a family show, kids. It's a family show.
What are you doing here?
when the Australian A-League was formed, there was like one team from each city. So Sydney had one team, Sydney FC, but then later on they wanted to add an expansion team. So all the people which you'd be going to the games with, all of a sudden now there's a Western Sydney team, and half of the people that are, in your like core group, which was the Cove, and everyone goes there and sings, they're like, I've actually got a new local now, and I have to go over there and become your mortal enemy for life. So it's kind of funny how you just you were like this, like brothers, and then now you're hatred.
Yeah, it's wild because you'll know this, Martin. Listen, I got told a very good friend when City took over. There was Melbourne Victoria, and there was the Melbourne City.
Melbourne Victory,
yeah, Melbourne Victory, Melbourne Victoria. One was purple, and one was. And when City walked in and took over, there was bloody murder about it, and people were still not going to the stadium because we took them over, because we took their club away. And that's
Yeah.
the way.
Let me just Royal Obsidian. By the way, you saying about my team without saying everything live, so you don't know that for sure, because I actually the first team I actually saw live in Europe was Inter, and since then I've been to the stadium plenty of times every time I go to Europe. But the difference between me and you, I don't know where you're from, but I spent thousands of dollars to go see my team play, but I'm sure you didn't.
Are you coming over Wednesday?
No, I can't come to Manchester.
I'm
Short
just.
flight from Texas.
But there is something to be said for this, right? Because historically, football has kind of grown quite organically, right? For different reasons. Like Liverpool obviously came out of the fact that Everton used to play at what was the site of Anfield, and then they moved because the guy the owner of this area put the rent up and all that kind of stuff. Whereas now you've obviously got teams being created, like Miami has just been created. It's not really. Is it organic? Maybe it is. I don't know. But really,
no. There is nothing. There is no organic. There is no organic here.
No. But okay, so he's chosen strategically for business purpose, because there was a team in Miami before, wasn't it? The Miami something before, and I think they folded, and then Beckham's obviously chose Miami. Now they've got Messi playing for them. So a lot of this stuff is strategic now, and like obviously that moves away. But it maybe in 100 years, no one cares. I don't know. It's
Yeah. Well, everyone's got a Saudi team now, I'm sure. But a lot of the motivation for me for choosing Arsenal, but like mid-90s, it was just F Man United. I don't care which team it was, but like I feel like Liverpool and Arsenal have always been on that side where it's like, I hate that guy. Let's like hate them together.
Only in English football. People don't. I think the English football was irrelevant in the 90s in world football.
Yeah, it was Italy more, wasn't it?
It was Italy and Spain.
Yeah,
of course, Real Madrid and Barcelona, of course, with Romario and Stoichkov, and people don't know the names, but these
No,
were
but
these shits.
But there's
you
also
know?
a reason for that, right? Because English, we were banned from
were
Europe for the
banned.
first 5 years.
Yeah.
Plus,
And it
there
took
was
you
a
a while to
free
go
foreigner
back. It
rule
took
in
you a
Europe
while.
as
It took you until 98.
Yeah, that's right. And we could never play
We
our
had the
strongest
free
teams in
foreigner
Europe.
rule as well.
I remember when
Free
United went to
foreign
Barcelona
players.
and lost 4-0, and they had to put Peter Schmeichel on the bench.
Yeah, he
in
couldn't
the
play.
stands
Yeah.
because they weren't allowed to play. They were only allowed to play 3 non-European players or something.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So
I remember that. That was fun to watch.
And also, after a 5-year period out of Europe, a lot of the other European teams had just improved that much more, and we've been kind of stuck in a rut a little bit.
If we all go all the way back, that's why Everton didn't really get big, because they weren't allowed to play in Europe. They won league titles in the 80s.
This is why the treble of Manchester United in '99. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, that treble." Man United were the inferior team in that competition. There was plenty of teams ahead of them in the pecking order. It's Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Barcelona, Juventus. Like everyone was ahead of them in that. That's why it was a surprise.
They had Bayern Munich and Barcelona in a group. Manchester.
Yeah, it was a surprise when they won that Champions League. To be honest, for me, Manchester United, they were the underdogs in comparison with other teams in that year, '99.
Juventus' second leg game legendary. They went 2-0 down.
Yeah, it was different.
Yeah, I remember.
But football was different.
That was crazy.
It was better. Let's face it.
I don't know about.
We know whose fault it is.
It was different. It was different.
We know whose fault it is. It's not you, Martin. Not you, Martin. No,
it's raining. We get blamed for everything nowadays.
No, it's not you. It's Pep Guardiola.
Somehow blame Pep. Blame him. Blame someone.
Chelsea.
When I said it yesterday on MHF, I said when Vinny Jr. and Erling Haaland are the face of football around in the world, we all lost. We failed football.
I don't know. I think stuff like that is too hard. We look through football in that period through rose-tinted spectacles. Like for me, if you put football now compared to football in the early 2000s and 90s, it's a different sport, man. It's a different sport. This City team, like that Milan team, was one of the greatest ever. If without adapting, if you play that Milan team against this City team will wipe the floor with them. I have absolutely no doubt whatsoever.
Oh, I don't know.
Look at the pace. Look at the way that football's played now. Look at the pace behind the football now compared to then.
I think you have the comparison wrong. No, hold on. I'm gonna respond to Rack simply. I think you have the comparison wrong. Take these Milan players in their prime and give them the technology and the nutritions and the training that the players get now. But you have to understand, defensive-wise, Costa Corta, Maldini at that time, they were better. Van Basten is definitely better than...
Because the speed of the game now is much faster. The physicality of the game now is much stronger. So one of the things that people never talk about is the mentality. When the football is played much faster, your technique, it becomes much more that you have to play it more simply because you can't afford to do 3 or 4 different step overs. You simply don't have the time. And ultimately, are these guys going to have the discipline? Because there's one thing you could be marginally better at in that period. Would they have had the discipline to play in a system now or play with the same kind of level of physical training? Because, I'm not going to say about Milan.
What do you want to tell me that Frank Rijkaard would not be able
back then, look, the English teams. Look at Graham Souness. He was like, back then we used to go and play football. Then we used to go on the lash for 3 or 4 days. You can't do that now. That wouldn't be. Would Graham? But
that is the thing.
But if you take him out of that period and you bring him to now, would he have had the personal discipline?
No, I don't know about that is why I never talk about the personality of a player or the discipline. I talk about talent-wise. Back in the days, the players are more talented than now, but they didn't have.
When you say talent, usually people mean technique, right?
Not only defensive techniques as well.
That's usually what they mean. That's usually what they mean. And unfortunately, technique is only one aspect of football.
I agree with you 100%.
Technical, physical, mental.
There is 3 aspects, right? There is physical, mental, and technique. Technique in defensive wise, technique in shooting, technique in
and tactical. There are 4. Tactical
can be taught.
Technical, physical, and mental.
tactical can be taught. The players don't.
No, but you have to have the IQ to be able to accept
That's
those ideas.
That's the football IQ.
And that's not a given. That's not a given. You can't say 100% that's a given.
No, it's not a given, of course.
When I was growing up, it was much simpler. Like I was a centre back. I was told to lump it long. You know, you go and watch some of the footage from the 90s or even the 2000s. It's just like a head fist, lumping it long. There's no tactics. It's just like wait for someone with skill to bring the ball down and do something brilliant. And that would have decided games. And that's what we only remember the brilliant moments, but there was a lot of terrible.
You want to tell me that Ruud Gullit was not talented on the ball and physically very,
You're using Ruud Gullit as an example.
No one was saying that he wasn't talented. He was talented for his era. But I think it's a far from a given to see he would be the same level of dominant player playing today as he was back then. I
don't think it's a given. It's my opinion.
No, I know, but people just give it. People just say that, oh, football's much better because that's the narrative, right? But when you actually look at it and you actually start analysing, things are different. Look at all the players who played back then who say now football is completely different.
I believe if R9
requirements now to play completely different.
I believe if R9 now, let's imagine remove Haaland, put R9, right? Put R9. Let him be coached like Erling Haaland and be fed like Erling Haaland and be under that discipline thing like Erling Haaland. I think he would be a better forward. He would be a better forward than 90% of the people that play today.
Jesus left because he wasn't able to do his step overs and have his silly haircut.
Would he have been able to defend from the front, for example? Yes. And you could say, you could automatically say yes, but then we go to the mental side, the discipline. Would he have been that guy who could press all the forwards from the front? I don't know.
People are being coached that from a young age now, and that is the difference.
I know, but the difference is, would that then take away from some of the other stuff? Right?
Like what are the other stuff?
Well, maybe if you're being taught that from the start, then maybe his finishing goes down as a result. You materially change him as a footballer.
Do you believe Erling Haaland's finishing is better? Let me just ask you something. You believe Erling Haaland's finishing is better than R9? I'm gonna get Romario. Van Basten finishing that has nothing to do with coaching now. And he's coached better than them.
No, but why?
I'm asking you a straight question. I'm asking you a straight question. Do you think he is better than them?
But of course it does. It has got something to do with coaching because you learn this thing from the start from your professional coaches. Right?
So with all the professional coaching that Erling Haaland has, do you believe? I'm asking you. You tell me. Do you believe Erling Haaland finishing, right, as a striker is better than R9, Van Basten, and I'm using these three examples because they're three different. Van Basten, R9, right, and Romario.
Okay, what I will say is that I don't think you can guarantee me that all those three are better.
No one can guarantee anything. I want your opinion. I want your opinion.
But Mo,
I want your opinion.
When we have these arguments, the default position is always back then was better, and I'm saying that isn't a given. That isn't a given. That's not a given because I believe that Erling Haaland, for example, in finishing, for example, is better than Ruud van Nistelrooy.
Haaland's a throwback. Haaland's a throwback, Chloe. If you actually go back to the 80s, a lot of the strikers of the 80s does what Haaland does now. He's a throwback striker. He's a striker that don't mind not having many touches of the ball, but will get 2 or 3 goals a game. Look, I could go back to like the early 80s with Clive Allen. Clive Allen used to get 40. Clive Allen used to get 40 goals. Clive Allen used to get 40 goals a season. He used to get 40 goals.
You know what?
It's a throwback. That's why Haaland's so good. He's a throwback.
This thing you all hear all the time. Yes, players are different today. The game is different today. And you hear about this City dominating and it's unfair and Pep leaves and blah, blah, blah. Would you like some facts? Because we all love a fact. Yeah.
Stats or facts?
No, just facts. You know about all this? You talk like City have ran away with the league. Yes, we won the last 4. But we only once we won the league by double points. Liverpool have had a bigger gap when they beat us when they won it. Arsenal had bigger gaps when they won it. United were in the top 3 for big gaps of winning leagues. This is my issue right now. The league is actually technically more competitive now because you've got 2 teams getting 89, 90, 97 points.
But you've won 6 out of the last 7 leagues, right?
I understand what you're saying,
Right.
Martin.
Okay then.
That's fine.
Tell me why you all allowed United to win 7 out of the first 11.
But that's by the by. The point is that this level of consistency that City have shown is unparalleled ever in English football.
No, it's not. Did United win 3 in a row?
Yes.
They didn't win 4.
Right,
And they didn't. Okay, but also, Martin, you're looking at only champion. Look at the number of games. I guarantee you, in City's worst year, when you've won your 4, that was better than Man United's best year when they won their 3. Number of wins. Like the level of City's consistency is on a different level.
Liverpool's because you, with all due respect, you weren't getting 97 points 20 years ago.
No one was. That's what I
So
mean. City's not just we weren't. No team in Europe has ever got that level of consistency.
Exactly. No, so that's my point. So is it not more competitive now?
I mean, it depends how you define. If you're only looking at individual league titles, I think you have a fair point. But if you look at the level of consistency the City have shown over, you had Pep won for his first 2, then Liverpool won, and since then you've won the last 4. So out of the last 7, you've won 6. Is that right? The level of City have shown over those 6 years has never been seen before in not just English football, world football history.
And even when Arsenal and
that's not. But I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm not knocking. I don't know. Maybe you're a bit annoyed about something, or I'm saying this is a level that we've never seen before.
I'm not annoyed. What I am is, I think people either don't know the history or they're forgetting history to suit the narratives. That's what I'm believing, because you never hear about this. United dominated the Premier League for the first 15 years. Absolutely wrecked it. Destroyed the gaff.
It depends on which area you're looking in, because before Wenger arrived, it was Man United won 4 out of 5, right? But then Wenger arrived and we won 3 and they won 4, and then Chelsea came along.
Listen to what I'm saying, Martin. In the first 11 Premier Leagues, first 11 years, United won 7 of them.
Yes, but that's what I was saying. The first 4 were before Wenger made it a challenge, and then it was actually competitive between 2 teams. They'd swapped the title like for 6 years, but then after that, Chelsea came in, and then City came in. It's been a whole different ballgame since then. But there's no one on City's level that's been able to really topple them every other year.
Let's go back to 93, 94. Yeah, United became Champions League, the first ever season. Yeah, they finished 8 points ahead of the nearest rivals, 92 points from 42 games. They won 27, drew 11, and lost 4. Conceding just 38 games along the way. That was 1993.
Yeah.
So this was going on back then.
Yeah, Martin, your worst ever season under Pep, I reckon it's on par with that probably.
No, it isn't. We finished, 20 odd points behind you, Jamie?
Yeah.
No, I mean, in terms of a season when you've won the league. I reckon probably all of your title winning seasons, apart from maybe one of them, had more points, more wins.
Nope. We've never won the league by more than about 1 point or 2 points.
No, okay, but you're talking about gaps. I'm talking about pure number of points, wins, draws, and losses. We came second to you, and we've got the most number of points of any club who's not called Manchester City in the history of English football, and we came second.
That's competitive, then, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's competitive in one way. It's competitive in one way, but what I'm saying is I'm saying the level of consistency that the City have shown at the top level has never been seen before. Do you disagree with that?
Yeah.
Okay. So over a period of 7 years, over a period of 7 years, if let's take Man United, you mentioned 7 and 11 years or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I reckon Man United are probably 50 wins behind you over that 7-year period compared to you guys. Maybe not 50, but I reckon maybe 30 wins behind. If you take total number of games, I reckon you've won significantly more games over that period than they have.
I've got it. All-time Premier League. She may be right. I've looked into the gaps. Yeah,
I'm not dissing City for that. I think this is what I will say is that it just shows how good you have to be to win the Premier League. Like Arsenal have to be exceptional. I think in Man United's days, you could be decent and still have won the league. You know, maybe the odd.
Can I ask a genuine question about this?
Blackburn won the league.
Can I ask a genuine
question?
They
had Shearer,
do you believe that is because
they had good players, but obviously, like,
Rack, do you believe that is because of Man City or because of Pep Guardiola?
No, both. You can't separate. The winning is a team sport. It's about the players, it's about the infrastructure, it's about the team. It's everything. It would be disrespectful to say otherwise.
Yeah, they won 2 titles before Pep, didn't they? So
yeah.
City, don't get me wrong. The most Premier League wins, United have won 13 of them. Yeah, you got consecutive title wins. Yes, we win that one. Totally hold that. We've got the fewest draws. I accept that. I'm not saying Cities aren't brilliant. I'm not saying we've not done.
They are brilliant. They absolutely are brilliant.
Yeah, I'm not brilliant. What I'm saying is, it's this thing of it's non-competitive now. I don't believe that.
Well, just not saying because most of United's title wins are either by 9 points or double-digit points or something like that. They've only really
used to win the points, win the league.
Yeah, they've only had like they have had close title races, like obviously with Arsenal on the last day in '99 and
Blackburn in '94.
Blackburn, I think wasn't the one before that with Blackburn as well in '93, '94.
Well, there was '92, '93. They went with Villa. Was it Villa? The first season. Then '93, '94. They were against Blackburn.
And then Blackburn again.
'94, '95.
And the 2 in Newcastle.
Right, yeah. Then the 2 in Newcastle. Weren't Newcastle like 11, 12 points clear?
Yeah, they were 12 points ahead, and then
scored into the first half.
No, that's what I mean. So I understand it, but what I'm saying is, right now within the Premier League, you are seeing records broke, not just by City, but by Arsenal claiming their highest ever league points tally. Liverpool highest ever league tally. Liverpool. So I suppose it depends what you're after. I don't know what people are after, that's all.
People want to know that it's not like a done deal at the start of the season. Otherwise, you start.
But who said it's a done deal?
Well, I was on a stream like last week with Mo, and he was like, "It's over, right?"
Basically, Mo said it's a done deal.
Today is, we got the best, this, that, and the other. They're coming to that he had to whip us again. Well, I've heard all day.
We were losing to Spurs and we were going to be 8 points behind. Everyone had that kind of calculation down in their head.
How did you sneak that bus in on this stream to run over Mo? I don't understand. I didn't even see you drive that bus.
All I've heard today is, yesterday it was Tottenham were the worst team going. They're a bag of shit, blah, blah, blah. We beat you with our B team. And then today it's, we beat Spurs with our B team, so we're coming to the Etihad to do you.
Oh, okay.
Which one is it? Is it A? Is it B? I want to know.
It's a carry on. It's an evolution. It's a hybrid.
Shit, or are they that amazing you beat them with your B team?
I think we're going to come and stink it out again. It's not going to be pretty. I think it's going to be another 0-0, and everyone's going to say that we're through the
again. You know you're coming to park the bus.
Probably. I just ran Mo over with it. Now I'm going to park it at City.
What, bro? We're not parking the bus. We're actually going with the bus inside the freaking stadium, bro. He's bringing 3 buses with bro. We're getting another bus, bro.
Take it inside the bus and then just drive.
Yeah, bro. We are, bro.
Do you know what they're doing, Matt?
It's that right. Kevin De Bruyne will still somehow get it through a window into the top corner. So
they're going to get the ball and run to Old Trafford and keep it there for about 95 minutes. You know,
I think Brentford laid the blueplint down. You can
plug the roof.
You can't do what we do because we play the ball on the ground. You are actually now turning into a very defensive team based on the stats. That's what. But before I go on to this, because that was supposed to be the thing about the show. It's an hour, 8 minutes, and we haven't spoken anything about the football. Back then, but I like this show. Back then, the other teams have better quality than now. Guys, before Dak responds, there's over 400 people here. We really need to get to 200 likes on this show. How can we not have 200 likes on this show? Hit that like button. Nostalgia Merchants.
It's a Spurs shooting range.
Nostalgia Merchants United. Look, my response to this, and look, we've got, I think, you're all beautiful people, but it looks like we have a slightly older panel today. So you guys will all appreciate and remember, back when our fathers and elders used to watch football, they always used to talk about, oh, George Best was so much better. Oh, Bobby Charlton was so much better. Oh, Jimmy Greaves was so much better. So this thing about looking back and saying football back then was much better, we lived through this when we were kids, right? So this is nothing new. People will say that. I remember watching back then thinking, bloody hell, those pictures were crap. But I was like, I looked at George Best, and old as we say he was amazing, he looked all right. But, you know, I think people look at the past and roast into spectacles. Most things don't go backwards. Most things go forward. Football evolves just like most other things. So
yeah, exactly. Back in that time, yeah, English football was good, but when they went into Europe, they didn't really do much.
Nostalgia is the thing. It's like my favourite ever World Cup is the 1990 World Cup. It always will be, but there's been far better World Cups. Do you know what I mean? In reality, but nostalgia, man. It was my first World Cup.
I don't think there's any World Cup that is better than 1994 World Cup, in my opinion.
1990.
America.
About Maradona.
And I tell you, I have a reason why. It is not only about me and that World Cup, and I watched, because Romania had Hadji. Sweden had the three guys up top, you know, Thomas Brolin.
Mario.
Brazil had Romario and Bebeto. Bulgaria had Stoichkov. Italy had Roberto Baggio. Each nation at that time had a player. Had a player that was Ballon d'Or nominee. Each team at that time. So that is like one of my
favorite penalty miss will stick with me forever.
Did anyone get that free Coca-Cola ball?
Yeah,
1990.
The small one. Yeah.
The thing with Italian 1990 though, it saved football, which people don't realise.
Anyway, let's go back. The worst World Cup. We know the worst World Cup. 2002, definitely 2002 was the worst World Cup I've seen in my life.
Oh no, 2010.
94 was.
Did Russia have one in there somewhere?
Just to watch Baggio cry with that.
I think 2018 was good. That World Cup 2018 was not bad. It had good football.
Who was it? It wasn't Tina Turner. Who was it that in the opening ceremony had to score that penalty? Diana Ross. Yeah, that was it.
A thin and crispy supreme.
This is so old as a stream. It is
unbelievable. All the youngsters turned up. All the youngsters turned up about half an hour ago.
Unbelievable.
Max is going to start talking about Gary Lineker when he was actually a footballer.
No one remembers that anymore. Do you guys know that one of the things I hate the most about nowadays is that Alan Shearer now it's being limited to he was just a striker. He used to just score goals. But Alan Shearer was way more than this in terms of footballer. Then let's go back.
Haaland. Everyone goes, Haaland doesn't track back. Haaland doesn't this. And I'm like, could you imagine Andy Cole and Van Nistelrooy and Shearer and all these backing? None of them were dropping into midfield and elbowing everyone and laying it off. And Andy Cole just sat. And Buddy Ferguson said to Andy Cole, drop into midfield for me, mate. Lay it off for 5 minutes and turn and run it. Tell him to piss off.
I'm a striker, mate. Some months and you're joining the club, bro. You're going to be 30 and you're joining the club.
He already looks 30. What are you talking about?
He looks 45.
And then we go to a World Cup. Harry Kane drops back into midfield and lays off, but then gets slagged off for not being in the box to score the goals. So what do they want? Do they want the strikers to lay off or to score? I'm lost now. What strikers
I just want a striker to put a ball in the back of the net. That's what I want.
Exactly. That's what I always thought.
You got one. You got Nunes.
I haven't got one. That's the problem.
But I want to. Can we go back a little bit to the football? This is amazing.
You said you didn't want to talk about Arsenal. You said Liverpool. You said you didn't want to talk about them.
I actually like about Liverpool tomorrow. If you guys lose, I think it'll be hilarious. I think it'll be funny.
Cheers, man.
It'll be funny. To be honest, listen, I am as a person, I am all about the content. Right? I think Liverpool losing tomorrow is fun. It won't affect you in the Champions League. You will always qualify to the next round, right? But I think it will be fun to watch you lose. You know what I mean? But for Arsenal against Man City on Sunday, we need Arsenal to win. Otherwise, we're sitting here in December and the league is over and there's nothing to talk about.
We skip Wednesday. Why we skip Wednesday? Don't skip tomorrow and don't skip Wednesday.
Yeah,
I don't think Wednesday is gonna. So I don't think that's the thing. I actually was just doing a preview for the game with Uncle Sharma on Inter channel, and I said it doesn't affect me. I am going to lose the game. Who cares? This is not the game that is gonna decide my fate.
You've given up already.
No, if I get a result, I'll be happy. If I lose, I'll be all right. That just doesn't matter.
You'll just be all right. What do you mean? I'll just be all right.
Can you imagine if Inter win on Wednesday? How good the mood Mo would be in.
You know what? You know what makes me laugh? He's saying all this now. If Inter Milan get anything on Wednesday night,
He's got to be.
I'm sticking it. I'm sticking it to you. I'm sticking it to Nobin. I am sticking it to you. I'm sticking it to Hamza. I'm sticking it to Nobin. I'm sticking it to everyone, bro. What do you think is gonna happen? I am calling each and every one of you live on your streams.
Don't worry,
calling each and every one of
He's
you.
gonna have a stream with him in the middle, and four Man City fans outside like that. Mo in the middle, just berating each one in the corner.
Yeah, Nobbins, you tell him.
Get Veta games on as well, man. Yeah.
Mo, we've also got a big game on Thursday against Atalanta.
Are you going to Italy? Are you going to Italy?
Yeah, we've got to go away to Atalanta.
Do you know Inter just beat Atalanta 4-0, right?
Wednesday.
Yeah, it's a Thursday.
No, the new Champions Leagues are Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday now.
Yeah, you're playing Thursday away in Italy, and then you've got to come.
And then you're playing away at the Etihad on Sunday. Talk about fairness.
5 away games this month.
Talk about fairness. But to be honest, I don't think it matters because you are turning into a clearly Sean Dyche team. You know, you're averaging 46% ball position. You are 12th in chance creation in the league. You are 14th in shots in this league.
Okay, what about
you guys? I have to admit, I actually did not realize this until I actually went now and checked. So Arsenal in the current moment are 13th on XG, right? In terms of ball position, right? You are 13th in the league, which is you average less than 50%, 46% in the league.
Are you
right?
using the 4 games as a sample, right? Because we had 10 men against Brighton. We played away against Aston Villa, away against.
Well, do you believe if Man City had 10 men against Brighton, they will be dominated with that much?
When we had 10 men, I don't know. I think it was a fairly even battle. I don't expect to win possession against Brighton anytime we play them because they're just a very good ball possessing team.
No, but my point, Martin, do you accept
we can play against Ipswich Town and pump our numbers up or something, or we need to get some stats on the board that will make you happy because we defend when we have to and we attack when we have to. You can't make me feel sad about winning.
So you are like a team that switches.
Yeah.
But anyway, my point is, I believe that Arsenal, if Arsenal can win the league with that strategy, it changes football. Wallahi, it changes football. And I would love that. I would love for people to believe that because I believe the new coaches and the new pundits and the new football is that everyone believes that there's one way of playing football. I have to have position. I have to have the ball. I have to attack. That is the new way of playing football.
I hope you do this Wednesday night.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Just on Wednesday, you agree with the credit card company weekend. Mons is a credit facility in the UK. What are you doing? What are you drawing with them for?
Okay, we drew away at Monza. We're still winning the league. Can you sit here with
card in the UK?
Okay. Hold on. Let me do this again. I am winning my league. Can you sit here now on September 16th now and say you are winning the Premier League now? Say that now. You have the best team in the world. Martin, now on September 16th, and tell the people now that Man City are winning the Premier League.
I've already told everyone what I think we'll do this year. I think we'll win the treble.
Holy fuck.
Okay.
You serious? You're winning the treble.
Go back on a show yesterday. I'm down as treble father.
You can't get any better than that. You can't get any better answer than that.
I think we'll genuinely win. Whichever treble it is, I don't know, but we'll win our treble.
That's overstepping the quad.
And listen, if we go wrong, we go wrong. I just back my team with that.
You can't get better answer.
But do you believe that? So forget back in. There is a difference between. Okay, so let me flip. Before I come to you, I'm gonna ask Martin, for example, Arsenal. Is there a difference between you back your team or you believe? Do you believe you will win the Premier League? That you have a bigger chance than everyone of winning the Premier League?
I feel like we have got the best chance that we've had as Arsenal for 20 years to win the Premier League. But relative to everyone else, I don't think there's any. No, I don't feel like that there's anything that would put Arsenal above Man City based on what we did in the transfer window. I don't think that. I said that I think we could be favourites before, but we didn't sign a striker. So
I think City, for the first time ever, have got the most rounded squad we can have by a backup striker. For the first time ever, and I will say it, people have accused us for 4 years of having 2 top players in every position, bar injuries, and you don't know what's going to happen. We've got the biggest squad we've had in about 4 years. We've got 23, 24 players. Got Echeverri coming in. Oscar, listen, on Saturday we had a bench. Look at our bench. There was no Oscar Bob and no Ake even on it.
Yeah, that bench looked coming. That bench looked.
This is what I mean. Right now, we have got.
Did you see our bench? We had
your bench.
I care about your squad.
And that's what I
thought you were playing Carabao Cups out there with your bench.
No, but anyway. Arsenal had 3 players out, basically, right? Or 4? Okay, Tomiyasu, Calafiore,
Marino, Odegaard, Rice,
5.
Zinchenko.
So you had 5 players, 6 players. Okay, that's a lot of people out, to be honest.
We had 3 players I'd never heard of before.
It's the deepest squad we've had in a while. It's the most rounded. Whether that means we will do it, I don't know. But if we play to our potential, we should be able to do it. It's now up to the players. If we don't, and Arsenal are the better team, you hold your hands up and you go, the better team won. But I believe with the players we've got, the squad, I believe this squad's more rounded than when we won the treble.
Unless you get point deduction.
That doesn't always mean you are going to win it.
Unless you get point deduction.
See what I mean? You're hoping on a court case. That's your hopes and dreams.
Hold on. You know what the problem is, Martin? People are not hiding it. Oh, no, yes. Oh, no.
Yeah, we're hoping on a court case.
Go on show.
Today, one of them turned up in bleeding flip-flops. You think they're taking it frigging serious?
People go on shows and say, we are hoping that Man City get point deduction. No one talks about the football. They just talk about the point deduction. That is the hope.
Yeah, I've heard it's going to be a multiple year deduction, like 100 points a year.
Just because it's now doesn't mean. I don't even think, because we've already said there is chances of the grounds of appeal on one side if they want to do it. It has to be on a legal basis. It has to be on a factual basis. You can't ever appeal on an emotional basis. There has to be legal grounds for an appeal, as Nobbins will tell you. Can't just emotionally appeal. So if there's an appeal, we go again.
Can I ask a question? Can I ask a question to everyone?
It may go into next season yet. You're all hoping.
It might. Let me ask a question. If Arsenal comes second with 8 points and Man City get a 10-point deduction and Arsenal lift the Premier League title, would you celebrate the league?
Vigorously.
Look at it. It's not even. Why
I don't care. No, what are you talking about? No one sees the asterisks at the end of the day.
The thing is, if that's what happens and those are the rules, then you play by the rules, right? You can't blame Arsenal fans for celebrating.
No, it's not Arsenal's fault. If City get done, City get done, and we'll take it.
So I don't think anyone should.
So you think if City start next season minus 10 points in the league, and Liverpool win the league with 5 points, you'd be happy with it?
Would I be happy to win the league? Sure.
Yeah.
Well, why would you not?
I party.
Yeah. Because I guess that the presumption is that would have meant that
you guys see that on the pitch. City won the league.
No, but what I will say, I don't really want to comment on the whole City situation and what's going to happen, what's not going to happen. What I don't want to happen, and even though it would have benefit, I don't want us to go back and retrospectively give Liverpool league titles because we finished second behind City a few times.
He doesn't want to go into an academy.
I don't think retrospective punishment is. We can't re-referee stuff.
Don't worry, Mo. You won't hear about that retrospective. It just gets wiped under the carpet when they nick passwords out of people's computers. You know what I mean?
It wasn't nicked. They weren't nicked.
It was nicked, and you got £1 million fine. Otherwise, you wouldn't have got the £1 million fine.
No, Martin, we paid £1 million settlement, and it wasn't nicked. It was people who used to work for Man City, and they continue to use the password they already used at Man City. So
that's fucked
we just
up.
nicked. We didn't hack you. We just continued.
Why do I hate Liverpool?
And we paid a settlement which you agreed to accept. So
did you read about it in the paper?
Sorry,
it was like Mary Poppins. It just got brushed under a carpet. You never heard from it again. It's like United's failure.
I mean, to be fair, I've heard a lot from City fans. I don't know if you guys are working hard to keep it alive, but you're doing a pretty good job.
No, but factually, there's only one Manchester team that's failed FFP, factually. That's United, but you never heard about it. It just got swept under a car, like the United 40 million COVID payment. Oh no, we're banned from saying that ever again.
Hey, if you need some support taking Man United to court, I'm sure you have no complaints to the Liverpool and Arsenal fans. So let's do that. Everyone go to court.
The City thing. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. I don't think there's much point in commenting about it too much because none of us are, apart from Mo, none of us are legally trained. And
I'm not legally trained.
And
where's
your gavel, Mo? Show us your gavel.
Yeah. Right.
There we go.
Listen,
you need a wig. You need a wig. I'm gonna get you. When's your birthday? I'm gonna order you one of those High Court wigs.
Let me do these super chats. Okay, I truly believe Mo is a closet Arsenal fan. I promise you, I'm not.
No, he's just a closet City. In fact, he's not even closet. He's just a public City hater. It could have been Brighton up against City, and he'd become a Brighton fan.
Everyone in the chat knows which the club I despise the most in English football.
Man United.
Everyone knows. I promise you, like if City don't win the league this season, I don't care if you win it next season. Who cares?
Although he did finally understand why he did finally understand Spurs, didn't you? Didn't you, mate?
Spurs,
yeah. Spurs, you went, right?
Inter Milan versus City versus Arsenal, it's never ending, of course, bro. Inter Milan versus Arsenal. If I lose, I might have to cancel my channel, bro.
You're basically going to get slapped. You're going to get slapped by both of us this year.
You're friends with Arsenal now. I love it. I love you're friends with Arsenal now. I love it.
No, we're just going to slap it. It's just to slap into Milan around.
If it's the rule of the book, City needs to accept it. Do you really believe that? What do you want City to do? They built the club, they spent some money. Like, what do you want? Like, who put the rules? Isn't it who put the rules?
I'll tell you what it is.
Guys, I'm just going to tell you the truth. If City are found guilty, they are found guilty, okay? They deserve. But what did you want City to do? They wanted to build their club. They had the money. And who put the rules in? The clubs of the Premier League to prevent. Same as the people that put the rules now to prevent Newcastle from spending. And Newcastle have to comply.
No, Mo, they don't understand them because it's not been explained to you by the media properly. No one's explained it properly. No one's, and hence why I sent you. It's like, you know, why I sent you that 93-page document. Because no one's read it. No one's understood it. No, and then you sit there and you go, well, they haven't talked about this and they haven't explained that. When you read the actual CAS document, they have. CAS talked about it, Uefa talked about it, and it was all done. And Uefa dismissed it. Sorry,
the Premier League's made a rod for their own backs, but they have to have a result.
Did Juventus win Serie A in 2005 and got relegated? And actually, no one was given that title. No one was given that title. And also, there's one more difference.
One was taken away, and one was given to Inter, right? One was taken.
Yeah, but let me explain to you. Yeah. Well, let me explain to you the difference. Juventus bribed referees, bought games. They didn't build the club and they bought games. They paid the referees. They assigned the referees they want. Yeah. So they did not deserve these points on the pitch. Man City deserved the points on the pitch. They won the points on the pitch. That is different.
Man City also pay for the refs to go and ref in the Abu Dhabi leagues, right? So they are technically paying the refs.
No. That is actually
that
got debunked so easily. That got debunked so quickly. Because I fell in that hole.
Media love it. It's what
Next time have your tinfoil hat on when you say
Martin, you need to understand media run on bullshit and claims.
I'll go do my research and then we'll circle back on this one.
You do that, Martin. Off you go. Off you pop.
ManCityConspiracyTheories.com.
No, Martin, were you there? Do a bit of research on Arsenal, or was you a Leeds fan back then? So I don't know. You need to tell me to which one you were now. Did you know about the George Graham bungs? Are we going to talk about any of that? No.
Who's that player?
It's actually very good point.
Runa Hauger was the agent.
So guys, I was listening to an Italian podcast the other day that they were speaking about the Premier League will not do the mistake that the Italian league did, which is do that to City. It's actually that's not a Premier League podcast. They said what destroyed Italian football. By the way, just for people to know, that even though people said in the 2000s Italian football were not great, in 2003 there was 3 teams of Italy in the Champions League semi-final. In 2005, Milan reached the Champions League final. In 2007, Milan won the Champions League. So Italian football was still at good level in the 2000s. Calciopoli and what happened destroyed the league, completely destroyed the image of the league.
No, that's not the case.
It is because nobody wants
since the 2010s. The financial look at the TV deals that came out of like post 2009. That's what took the Premier League into a different level. And the only teams that are capable of keeping up with them are Barca, Atletico, and Madrid. If you look at the size of the TV deals prior to that, then they were all much more comparable. You're talking about a team maybe making 30-40 million pounds a season in TV revenue. Now the bottom team makes 100 million pounds.
But what destroyed the Italian league is Calciopoli. The competition was shit. The players left. That is what destroyed the. So let me ask you something.
But before that, Juve won the league like 9 times in a row.
No.
Wasn't
what? No.
Oh, was that afterwards? I can't remember if that was before.
That's way out. That's 2010s.
Okay.
That's 2010. Okay. Do you believe the Premier League can actually punish Man City? Would that hurt the Premier League?
If City get found guilty of, first of all, it's an independent panel, so it's not the Premier League. These guys are QCs and judges and all that kind of stuff. If they get found guilty of what they've been accused of, it is incredibly, incredibly serious. Anyone who's got a company knows that at the end of the financial year, you need to, as a director, you need to sign off your books and submit them to Companies House. This is essentially they're not just. It's got nothing. It has got to do with football because those books are related to their football books. But ultimately, you're talking about financial fraud and directors signing off on accounts which are fraudulent.
I'm perjurer.
It's much more serious than just football.
This is what people don't realise. What you are saying is, because again, in the 93-page CAS document, that Mr. Hogan and other people from Etisalat and Etihad talked about all the emails. Sheikh Mansour himself, Khaldoon, went on the stand and gave evidence. You are saying they've all lied. The other thing they've got to get around is, go back to the years they've actually accused of us. There was no FFP or PSR back then. So I don't know how we're going to get around that little stint. Regards the Mancini stuff, are City really going to do all this for £2.5 million? Because when you look at the Mancini stuff, it works out. Nobbins will be able to tell me better in the comments. It's about £1.5 million to £2.5 million. Are City really going to jeopardise their whole future for £2.5 million on FFP? No, not really.
If it was like, can I hold on? Can I just? It hurts the league regardless of the outcome. Either the league loses one of its main causes and suffers a reputation crisis, or the Prem looks like morons and their authority is diminished.
Yeah, 100%.
By the way, there were no. Look, I think the league will have to punish Manchester City.
Yeah, but what punishment?
Okay, So I was talking on I can't remember whose show it was the other day. If City are fined and relegated and whatever happens, in my opinion, that's the biggest footballing story in the history of football. You've got the most successful team in the biggest league in the world who are essentially going to be found guilty of financial and football-related doping or whatever you want to call it. Whatever you want to... This is a huge, huge story. I don't think... And anybody who says anything with any kind of degree of conviction right now, who's not in possession of the facts, and I'm not in possession of the facts, I don't think anybody here is in full possession of the facts, I don't think anyone can say anything right now.
Question, sorry, I'm just going to throw it out there because I've got the cast document in front of me. I'm not that I want to bore you all or anything, but page 78 of the cast document, 289 conclusion. In view of all the above, there is no doubt that Etihad fully complied with its payment obligations towards Manchester City Football Club and that MCFC rendered the contractual agreed services to Etihad in return. The majority of the panel finds that Etihad sponsorship agreements are presumed to be negotiated at a fair value, that Manchester City Football Club, HHSM, which is His Royal Highness Sheikh Mansour, Abu Dhabi United Group and Etihad are considered not to be related parties. The Etihad sponsorship agreements were legally binding contracts. There is no evidence that agreements were backdated to MCFC, otherwise respectively tried to cover up alleged violations following the publications of the leaked emails. Go on, now tell me where that was wrong. That was from majority of the panel at CAS.
Yeah, but CAS is not relative to this. They're not operating in the same
time
window. It's a longer time window that's been under investigation.
No,
and there's an Arsenal QC and there's an Arsenal Prime Minister, so you're screwed.
What's an Arsenal Prime Minister got to do with
Jack? But Mark, look,
what you're telling me is the panel's corrupt.
Yes, basically, you've got to be corrupt to beat corruption. That's what I've learned.
We can't go around throwing allegations like that around because we don't know. That also, if you make extraordinary claims, they also require extraordinary evidence. We can't just say the panel was corrupt either. Like that's not fair to say that. They've looked at evidence.
Do you know what CAS is?
But Court of Arbitration for Sport.
Right, it's the biggest court you can go to in sport. They found City fine. Tell me what the Premier League are now going to do. They haven't got any new evidence.
Hold on. So you believe? So Martin Man City, you believe that the Premier League don't have a case?
I think what they've done is
every week.
What happens every week? But you don't
know.
There's two Martins. That's what.
Oh right, you're gonna say. This is.
No, I want to understand.
I'm like keeping them apart.
No, I'm sorry. The media don't give you this. They don't give you facts. What they give you is a tidbit and a headline to get everyone's clicks and views on.
I actually didn't do the show. I didn't do the show to talk about this at all.
I know you didn't, but I'm sticking to that.
It's not in the title. It's not in the intro. It is not even on the tags. So I didn't try to do this.
I'm telling you now, the Premier League, we were already under investigation by the Premier League when it went to CAS. This is the Premier League,
right?
Yeah, exactly. Have the Premier League got anything new? That's the question.
We don't know. Who knows? Rack said it. No one knows, bro. We don't know.
Because they both signed NDAs. But what I'm saying is, can we stop this thing of CAS? It was time barred and CAS didn't find City. It's rubbish.
Was there a penalty payment by Man City after that?
For non-cooperation.
Okay, what was the amount?
10 million?
Like 20 million?
10 million and got reduced down.
Okay. So there's at least non-cooperation, which I think the Premier League has an issue with because it wants all the clubs to cooperate and tell them if they've got issues with their books.
When City started cooperating was when they got charged. Before they were being charged, City had no legal obligation, as Nobbins will tell you.
But you're participating in a competition. You need to provide your books and stuff so that people know.
We have provided our books.
I think that you guys have been. I think half of the charges are for like non-compliance.
Yes, but you're
reporting the information.
You're not listening. City have no legal obligation. Yeah. Please get Nobbins on to explain this because I'm going down in circles. No, get on.
I'm making burritos. At this time, it's 12 o'clock midnight.
Why are you making burritos at 12 p.m.?
It's very strange. He's making burritos at 1 a.m., bro.
No, Right, the way it was, Martin,
madman.
it's like, and you get all this. A policeman knocks on the door and accuses something, and everyone's all of a sudden turned around and gone, yeah, I'd give them the evidence. No, you wouldn't. Let's not lie. If a policeman
is there evidence or
on your
no?
door,
Because if there was no corruption, you can give them everything, right?
we have no legal obligation.
That's
Okay, hold on. Hold
Got
on
to
here.
based
Hold
on
on
reason.
here. I'm gonna stop here. There is a difference between we have no legal obligation. I give you that. I give you this. I don't have to show the cops the drugs I have. I don't.
Yeah, they
You're on
need
YouTube,
to.
though.
If the guy doesn't
I
have
don't
a
understand what you're saying.
if
I'm lost.
but the point is this defense of Manchester City, when some people say we are not obligated to show them the evidence, you guys don't understand that sometimes when you say that, you're saying we know we're guilty. We're just not obligated to give you the
They
result.
haven't said that.
No,
Shape
but
man
City,
short. How do you know
City
about
are
it?
doing.
I said
City, I'm a
irrefutable
neutral. I'm a neutral in this.
Rat's
City,
not
have,
neutral.
in this regard, City have done absolutely nothing wrong. It's
100%.
They only have to do what they're obliged to do, and they're
Which
not
is
obliged
when
to
Rack,
release.
which is
Which
when we
you
got
are
tried.
100% right, Rack. You're 100% right.
That's when we
City
got
aren't
tried.
obligated to cooperate unless it's the law and unless they are forced law to do it. And if they're not forced, you aren't obligated to show.
What about if they want to maintain?
But
the
I'm sorry,
position
with
as
all due
sporting
respect to everyone,
No, but we're not here to make you happy because you can't beat us. We're not here to make you happy to
What
give
if
you
they
an
say pretty
excuse.
please?
What happened to sportsmanship? Fair
The
competition.
point I'm making is when City got charged by the Premier League, that's when we started cooperating. We were not cooperating before that because we didn't have to do.
Look, the
The
Premier
same
League
way
has
as
decided
your
if
legal
a
team-
team's staying there, it's up to the
Your
Premier
lawyer
League to
will do
decide.
the same.
I don't want to go I don't want to go and say the Man City did this and Man City did that. I am with Rack. Man City aren't obligated to show anybody.
Yeah, I don't know what is this stuff
But-
about.
Why can all the other teams comply? This is a sporting competition.
Hold on, Martin. Comply is
Wow.
different. Man City gave the same document that Arsenal give, Liverpool give, Man United give. Everyone gives the same documents.
What does
When you
Matt
start-
No, I'm confused.
Can I
'cause
just
I think
I'm
Matt
just-
thinks we've been charged with something different than what we've been
Yeah,
charged.
I want to just if I accuse Arsenal of doing something, Arsenal aren't obligated to give the evidence that they committed something. If they committed something, it is on other people to
It's not about
absolutely.
committing things or not. It's about reporting your normal business and being.
But they are reporting.
We have
they
done
have,
that.
but that's
Yeah,
what I
well,
don't
we'll see,
understand.
because
They have,
we'll wait for
Martin,
moments.
they have reported their normal business. The accusation here is that you haven't. It
What
is
they're saying
on
is
the
we've
league.
falsified
It is
those.
on the league to prove otherwise. It is not on Man City to actually give the evidence.
But who
That
owns
is-
the league? Whose league is it? Is it Man City's? Their
Hold on,
participation
the
is not
members'
guaranteed.
The
We are going in
members' league.
circles. We are
Yeah.
absolutely going in circles.
Martin, you're not understanding this at all.
Okay, I know.
Right, let me explain it. City put their books in.
Yes.
We are saying we passed all FFP stuff, yeah?
No, I'm going to shoot
You are
off.
saying we haven't passed them. You're saying we've done something dodgy, right? Now, but according to our books, we're fine. We're okay. The Premier League are now saying, excuse me, we think you falsified them. We want, because the trouble is, Martin, with that, they've then got to see Etihad's books, Etisalat's books. They have no legal obligation or right. You can't just go round to everyone else's businesses and start demanding books away.
Yeah, you're 100. By the way, Martin, that is completely right. Like, for example, what if the league tomorrow accuses Arsenal you cooked the books?
Can they
But
go and get
Arsenal would respond and said, let me just finish the point. Arsenal said, but I gave you the books. It's on you to prove that I gave you the wrong books. Who said that Arsenal gave the wrong books? Like, who here will say that Arsenal gave the wrong books?
Because
no one.
there's some information which doesn't correlate from what they've said.
in their opinion.
I am telling you, if there is information, that is why there is a court case.
Yeah.
Simple.
Because,
Simple.
Yes, but a lot of the charges are for like not complying, not
No, they're not. There's
complying
only
with the
30
actual
out of them.
information that they
Out of
requested.
No, there is a lot of them.
No, let me finish here because you guys just keep talking about this. It's not a court of law, legal, rights of Man City. The Premier League gets to decide who participates in their competition. Man City have no divine right to maintain a position in this league if they don't want to participate with the rules of the competition.
I don't understand
Excuse
this,
me.
Martin.
Excuse
I don't
me.
understand
You're
this.
saying it's like they don't have to say they cheated.
I don't understand. I don't understand this. Go ahead. I want to understand this again. Say that again.
He doesn't
The Premier
understand.
League, their participation in the Premier League is not guaranteed.
Yes, it is not guaranteed. Yes,
It's up to the Premier League's discretion to say these teams can compete because they agree to the rules, and then they're happy to report all of those things along with those rules. It's not
actually. It is not. The Premier League.
Right?
The Premier League is owned by the club. So, by the way, the voting, the club. So, by the way, if tomorrow 16 out of the 20 teams,
it's not changing the rules.
No. If you want to change the rules, you need like a majority of clubs.
Guys, we're going in circles here. We're going in circles. We're going in circles here.
With respect, you don't fully understand how the Premier League's running.
To be fair,
you're saying the clubs own the Premier League.
We need to. Okay, guys.
Like actually own the organization.
Yes.
They don't.
Oh, by the way, actually, if 16 out of the 20 clubs, let me just give you an example. If 16 out of the 20 clubs tomorrow vote that Liverpool should be kicked out of the league, Liverpool will be kicked out. They have to take it to court to fight to get back into the league and say it's illegal. Does that make sense? This is how the 16 out.
Rights, yeah.
Yes, that's the point, Martin.
But the Premier League is separate.
Can I ask a question, Martin?
But I want to move on from this, guys.
No,
I want to really move on from this. I have to move on.
Time.
I have to move on from this. To be honest with you, I need to move on from this. Because you know what we say in Arabic, the news is with money today, it is free tomorrow. You just have to wait, and then we'll know.
It's 12 weeks. Just wait 12 weeks.
You know what I mean? Like,
12 weeks.
we are arguing today in Egypt. If Arabic people in the chat, we say "Ya khabar النهارده الفلوس."
You're guilty. I will apologize. I will await your apology.
That's it. This my point about this is that very simple.
Martin, if City are guilty, you can come and join Liverpool. You can come and join me and Jamie. You can become a Liverpool fan.
Anyway,
we'll accept you with open arms.
I want to actually
we'll accept you with open arms.
Let me do the super chats, and I want to approach this from completely different. We actually spoken about this. Red Indian is saying rules are rules. Clubs like Blackburn Rovers, yes, rules are rules. That's what everyone is saying. Premier League clubs would seek damage. That it would be a massive thing. That's what people are saying. This is why I don't think that this case is the oh my god, punish City. What about the people that missed on Champions League because City went, which is a big deal. Let's talk about the football again. This is kind of very complicated. I don't think we have time to talk about any football. I actually think it's 12 weeks. We have waited enough, to be honest. It's only 12 weeks, and we'll know the rules. If City are found innocent, they're innocent. If they're found guilty, they are guilty. Very simple, right? We have to accept it at that time. You say
that's how you believe surface level like these events occur. It's way more complicated. You got governments negotiating with governments. There's a lot more at stake than just like they were guilty or they were innocent. Someone's got to make a decision at the end of the day that this is like.
But at the end, I agree with. But at the end, we live in this world. Same as with football change, same as referees' assignment, same as everything. We have to live with it. You know what I mean?
Respect, move on, because Martin, you've made your decision. No matter what this ruling is, you've got your thoughts. You've made.
I have no idea if Man City are guilty or not. I just want teams that participate in the Premier League to be open and transparent about what their actions are and what they're doing. That's all. Like I want fair.
City
I think if whatever the decision is, I promise you, people in Italy, a lot of people now are just competing without the Calciopoli thing, and we'll just have to move on from it. And then I promise you, 2 years, if Arsenal win the league this season, Martin, you will not remember anything about this. You won't even talk about it. You will talk about the league title if Arsenal win the league this season.
Well, I'll talk about it next season because then City might be in the championship or something. You know, it'll just depend on the competition.
Or they might be in the competition.
And if we're not in the championship, you've run out of excuses for failing.
It'd be quite funny if they win the championship and the Champions League at the same time. That'd be quite funny. Imagine they win the league.
Imagine this. That would be unprecedented, huh? The Champions League. But
the Champions League before you do, and winning the Championship.
I don't think you're allowed to participate in the Champions League if you get relegated.
We're Manchester City. We do what we want.
That's the problem.
I'm sure you. No, but look, I'm pretty sure you can. Why would there not be? Because
know. I think
with
that's the
Leicester,
wrong
there was that time Leicester won the league and they got relegated, or they almost got relegated the following season. If they would have won the
get
Champions
relegated.
League and got relegated, I think they would have still qualified.
Oh.
I think we'll see, but I don't know what dragged us into the 115. I actually thought that.
And it actually 130 as well. I was reading.
Well,
the other day.
129. 129.
129. Okay, 129. There you go.
That is the reality. Well, that is the question.
106.
The biggest question has to be, why is Nobbins cooking burritos at 1 a.m. or 12 a.m. in the UK?
I don't know. The only reason you cook food that late at night is for a particular reason. So I don't know.
I am okay. Herbs TV here. By the way, let me just correct this. Herbs TV. City were found guilty, but cast overturned because it was time barred. They were still fine. Let me just explain to you. Martin, my man, just read a cast document that said that City were not found guilty. There was some charges, but the main charges based on the cast document, which Martin can share with you if you want. You can get in contact and he can share with you.
Contact me. I'll send you the full 93.
He'll send you the full thing, and you can read them, and you will see that City.
Mo learned a lot when he read it.
Maybe we can do a whole stream where we just read the cast document for 3 hours.
I love that. I would love that. We go a whole stream when we read the cast documents. And we judge
You know what?
For a second,
It's on the Mancunian way. I do an hour and a half readathon of the documents, the conclusion.
Oh, there you
So
go.
you all learn to get over there.
On Husam's
for a
channel
second,
last
I
season,
thought Sean Dyche.
we did a read along of Pep Linder's book, so you could do like a book club or like a cast.
That is so cringy, but fun.
It was a little bit cringy, to be fair. It was quite funny though.
All of this for one league.
Exactly.
all of this Pep Linders thing for one league title in a 9-year era of Jurgen Klopp and Pep Linders. For a second, I thought Sean Dyche is on the panel.
Intensity.
Jamie's like, yes.
Anyway, guys, listen. Tomorrow we got streams. MHF, myself, and Husam. Husam is going live tomorrow in a brilliant stream at 2:00 UK time. So turn on your notification bell for Don Husam's channel. Of course, tomorrow we got a brilliant show. I gotta go live at 5 p.m. UK time, and then the reaction for the Liverpool will be on my channel on Footy JUDGEMO with Rack, Jamie, Mike Das, Rams. I don't know who else, but it will be epic. Because if Liverpool lose,
you don't need anybody else.
If Liverpool lose, guys, holy fuck! I know if Liverpool win, it will be okay, but if Liverpool lose, it will be hilarious. It would be absolutely be hilarious. Because I would laugh. Because Milan are shit, bro. Milan are shit. You know what I mean? If Liverpool lose, but hopefully Chiesa will get there. And on Wednesday, I got the watch-along for Inter and Manchester City. You don't want to miss that, of course. That would be amazing. That would be hilarious. And it will be an hour after, of course. So, guys, turn on the notification bell. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel on the way to 25K. This was a great stream, of course. And I appreciate everyone. The Mancunian way is in the description as well. Jamie Phillips' channel is in the description if you want to go and subscribe. They do brilliant content. Of course, always, Jamie's always live every day. And, of course, Martin is always live every day. And I will see you guys tomorrow. And we are out of here, people.